Number one tip you must take note of if you're making donuts in commercial quantity is for know your ingredients and their measurements. You must know your ingredients. The right amount of flour, the right amount of yeast, sugar for various quantity of donuts, you need to know them. Tip number two, get the right equipment. See, doing donuts in commercial quantity and doing donuts for personal use, they are two different things. If you are making it for your family, you don't need equipment. But if you are making it for commercial quantity, you need equipment like your bowl, your rolling pin, a table, your thermometer, your mixer, your trays, and a large frying pan. You want to make 500 pieces of donut, you need a large frying pan, you need trays, you need mixer so that you can get a very fluffy kind of donut. You can't mix 500 pieces of donut with your hands, my dear. You will just collapse, as in you will just collapse. So you need the right equipment. Tip number three, use the right kind of flour. In fact, my sister, my brother, I never knew flour can pose a very big risk to make the right kind of donuts. I never knew I needed to know the right kind of flour until I moved to the UK. I realized that there are different kind of flours. There are flours and there are flours. If you're in Nigeria, you're not going to have issues with flour. Just know your ingredients and their measurements, you're good to go. But if you're in the UK, my dear, use the right kind of flour to get these kind of fluffy donuts you can find here. Tip number four, use a potent and the right kind of yeast. See, if you do not get your yeast right, my dear, your donut are spoiled. You can't even there is no way around it. Your yeast must be potent. It must be. Now, there are different kind of yeast that you can use for your donut recipes. There are different kind of yeast, but we are conversant with active dry yeast and instant yeast. You must make sure that your yeast is not expired, and even if it is not expired, make sure that the packaging does not have holes. If you find any yeast that the packages have holes, my sister, just discard. Don't even try to patch it. Don't even try it. It must not have holes. Now, the instant yeast and active dry yeast are the major kind of yeast we use. The active dry yeast, you add it into warm water and add in your sugar and allow it to proof before going on to add it to your flour. Why the instant yeast is different, you add it directly to your flour. For donuts, if you ask me which one I prefer, my sister, I prefer the active dry yeast that you need to proof. Why? Because if it is bad and you proof and it doesn't foam, you can discard. But the active dry yeast, if it is bad, you won't know. And I realized that if I make my donut with my active dry yeast, it comes out more fluffy. That's just me. So you can use either of them. Tip number four, add eggs and the right quantity of butter. Now, these two things does the magic in your donut. You want your donut to be looking this fluffy. You see these donuts looking like bouncy baby donut. You want your donut to be looking this fluffy, my dear. Do not skip eggs and use the right amount of butter. Too much butter, your donut will come out dripping with oil. Little butter, it will be dry. Eggs helps to make your donut fluffy. Tip number five, knead well. Now, another thing that enhances the texture of your donut is the amount of time you spend kneading. You can knead with your hand, but commercial quantity, my dear, go for a machine. Kneading with your hand, you may need to knead for like 15 minutes. When you knead, you see the texture of your flour is different. The ingredients goes mix and absorb fully into the flour. Your flour is smoother. The texture just changes. So you will need for at least 15 minutes with your hand. It is okay if you're making for family, but if you're making for business, my dear, close one eye. I know things are expensive. Close one eye and open one and get yourself a mixer. This will help you produce more donuts in terms of quantity, and this will help you produce a better quality of donuts. And when you have a better quality of donuts, you are definitely going to get more customers. So no one better thing. People want to buy good things. So invest in your equipment. You want to do donuts as a business in large quantity. My sister, my brother, get a mixer. After kneading, you find out that the texture, look at the texture. It is so soft. You can tell that the donut is going to be amazing already. Number six, fry on medium heat or at the right temperature. Number six tip. Now, the kind of temperature you fry your donut in is different from other Nigerian snacks. You can't make mistakes in the right type of temperature. You cannot. Your oil should be bubbling slightly while frying, and this will help your donut proof further while frying and also help you get that white line. So many persons want to get that white line and they find it difficult. One thing that gives you that white line is your kneading. Secondly is the temperature of the oil. You will get this line. This thing, you can see the way my own is showing here. It's clear. It is really clear. So the right temperature, you cannot even joke with it. You can go through all the process of kneading, and when you miss it in the aspect of the temperature you use in frying your donut, you have issues. If it is too hot, the center of your donut will be cooked. Like, look at my own, the center is cooked. real cooked. So this is me frying various kind of donuts at that same temperature. You can see the oil must be bubbling slightly. Then if the oil is not so hot, your donut will be absorbing oil. So you just have to know the right kind of temperature you should fry your donuts. And do not worry, I will tell you later on in this video. So sister, relax. Brother, relax. I'm here to help. So look at this donut. You can see the white line. The temperature played a very good role. You know, after going through the stress of getting the right equipment and their measurements, and also going through the stress of kneading, my dear, the next thing you should take note of is the temperature of the oil. That is why I said invest in your equipment. Get a thermometer. I listed it earlier in the equipment you should have for commercial quantity. Get a thermometer, you place it in the oil, and the thermometer will show you the right kind of temperature that you should fry your donuts in, so that you can also be sure that you are frying at the right temperature, and you won't be scared of will the donut be cooked, will it absorb excess oil, you know, all those fears won't be there. So getting a thermometer, go to your shops where they sell baking things, ask of a thermometer for frying and they will give it to you. Get one or two. Invest in your equipment. Now money, they say they find money. Now so you are supposed to fry at 375 degrees Fahrenheit to 380 degrees Fahrenheit, or 190 degrees Celsius to 193 degrees Celsius. So getting a thermometer, look for these temperature margins and fry your donuts around this temperature. And my sister, my brother, you will be sure that your donuts will come out well at the end of the day. Tip number 7, mix in batches. Now, if you are going for a large quantity of donuts, 100, 200, 500, 1,000, like there was a time I had another, my mom of 1,000 pieces of donuts, mix in batches. You cannot carry the whole basin and pour 2 bags of flour in the basin. You want to kill yourself? It will just be too stressful. So if you are using a mixer, 50% of the work is gone. So you mix in batches depending on the quantity that your mixer can take. Your mixer can take 5 kg of flour at once, 2 kg of flour, depending on the size you can get. Mix in batches. If you can buy industrial mixer, thank God for you. Work is easy, but you may not be able to get an industrial mixer for a start. You may get a small mixer. So mix in batches. Just take your time, mix in batches, and make sure that it will help you knead your dough very well and even ease the stress for you. Now there is a video where I made various quantity of donuts, their ingredients and measurements. I'll put the link in the description box, and at the end of this video, check it out. You need to know your ingredients and their measurements so that when mixing in batches, you will know how many quantity of sugar, butter, egg ratio that will go for each quantity of donut. It will really help you. This is me kneading with my hand. Kneading with your hand is okay when you're making for family or small batches, but for commercial quantity, use your mixer. Have a unique packaging style. Tip number 8. See, you are going into donuts in commercial quantity. The competition is there. You are not the first. People don't do the business before you. Make sure your packaging style is unique. Don't do like the rest. Make your own stand out. Look at examples of how you can package your donut in a wide carton, various sizes, or look at this one. Use this cupcake paper to put the donut. See, step up your donuts. When people see your donuts, even if it's a regular donut, because of how you package it and you give them price, they will pay. So have a unique packaging style. Then final tip, mix and combine flavors. Yes, apart from the fact that you have gone through all the hurdles, you have a unique packaging style, make sure your donut recipes also have unique flavor taste. Make sure the taste of your donut is unique, and you can get this by mixing flavors or combining flavors or using your own unique flavors that you feel that your customers will like. You can try different flavors type and find out the one your customers really do love. Example of flavor combination is cinnamon and nutmeg. Nutmeg can make flavor, nutmeg plus vanilla flavor, milk or butterscotch flavor, or you can even use any of them individually without mixing them. Whichever way, make sure you have a unique flavor taste and make sure it is consistent. Every day you make your donut recipe, and you can get this by measuring your ingredients and writing them down. See, I think I should end this video. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Do like, share, and subscribe, and see you in my next one. Bye-bye. Good to have you here. See you next time.